My beloved soul, something is happening to you right now, and this is not a coincidence. You didn't click on this message by accident. You didn't pause here randomly. There is a reason your spirit feels stirred, unsettled, maybe even slightly uneasy. That feeling in your chest, that quiet but persistent voice in your mind, it is not ordinary. It is not just emotion. It is a signal. Archangel Michael is stepping forward at this very moment with a message that cannot be delayed. This is not one of those messages you can simply scroll past and forget. No, this is a divine interruption. A sacred warning sent directly to you because something around you is shifting, and your soul has already begun to sense it before your mind could understand it. You may have tried to ignore it. You may have told yourself, "It's nothing, I'm just overthinking." But deep down, you know that's not true. Because the feeling keeps returning, doesn't it? It shows up in quiet moments in the middle of the night and sudden waves during your day. It doesn't scream, but it doesn't leave here. That is not anxiety. That is not fear. That is awareness trying to reach you. Archangel Michael, the protector, the warrior of light, does not always arrive with loud signs or dramatic visions. Sometimes, his presence enters like this as a feeling you cannot explain, yet cannot escape. A gentle but firm nudge that something is not aligned, that something needs your attention now, not later. And here is the truth that may shake you. Ignoring this feeling could mean missing a moment of protection that was meant specifically for you. Yes, you are being protected, but protection only works when you are aware enough to respond. This is why this message has found you now. Because time matters. Because something is closer than you think. There is a shift happening in your environment, in your connections, maybe even within yourself. Something hidden is beginning to move toward the surface. And before it fully reveals itself, you are being given this warning, not to scare you, but to prepare you. Right now, your soul is standing at a doorway. On one side is comfort, pattern, the familiar things you've always trusted. But on the other side is truth. A truth that may change how you see a person, a situation, or even your own path. And that feeling inside you is the signal pointing toward that doorway. Archangel Michael is not here to confuse you. He is here to guide you. But guidance begins with attention. You must not silence this feeling. You must not bury it under distractions or logic. Because this is not coming from your mind, it is rising from something far deeper, something divine. So listen carefully, stay present, because what you are feeling right now is the beginning of a revelation. And once you see it, once you understand it, everything will change. Tell me, are you ready to face what this feeling is trying to show you? There is a language within you that does not use words, yet it speaks with undeniable clarity. It does not shout, yet it echoes louder than any external noise. This is the language of your soul, and right now, it is trying to get your full attention. What you are feeling is not random, and it is not without purpose. It is communication, pure, spiritual communication that arrives before logic has the chance to interfere. Many people spend their entire lives ignoring this sacred language. They wait for signs they can see, for voices they can hear, for proof they can touch. But divine guidance rarely works that way. It begins as a whisper within, a sensation that something is not quite right, or perhaps something is about to change. That subtle discomfort you feel, that quiet pull in a certain direction, is not confusion. It is instruction. Archangel Michael understands that your soul receives messages faster than your mind can process them. That is why he often reaches you through feeling first. Because your mind questions, but your soul recognizes. Your mind hesitates, but your soul already knows. And in this moment, your soul has already recognized that something important is unfolding around you. Think about how this feeling has been appearing. It didn't arrive once and disappear. It has been persistent. It has returned again and again, almost as if it refuses to be ignored. That is not coincidence. That is confirmation. Divine messages repeat themselves until they are acknowledged. And each time you try to dismiss it, it grows just a little stronger, just a little harder to silence. You may have even noticed how this feeling intensifies in certain situations or around certain people. There are moments when everything seems fine on the surface, yet something inside you becomes alert. You cannot explain it, but you feel it deeply. That is your soul detecting what your eyes cannot yet see. Archangel Michael is using that sensitivity to guide you away from harm and toward truth. But here is where many become confused. They mistake this divine signal for fear. They label it as anxiety or overthinking, and in doing so, they disconnect from the very guidance meant to protect them. Fear is chaotic, overwhelming, and paralyzing. But this feeling you are experiencing, it is steady. It is consistent. It does not rush you into panic. It invites you into awareness. There is a difference between fear that traps you and a warning that awakens you. Archangel Michael does not bring confusion. He brings clarity through subtlety. He allows you to feel first so that when the truth is revealed, you will recognize it without doubt. This is why the feeling comes before the evidence. This is why you sense the shift before you see the change. Right now, your soul is ahead of your circumstances. It is picking up on movements, energies, and truths that have not yet fully entered your physical reality, and that can feel unsettling because your mind wants immediate answers. But the soul does not operate on impatience. It operates on alignment. It prepares you in advance so that when the moment arrives, you are not caught off guard. Archangel Michael is guiding you through this unseen preparation. He is asking you to trust what you feel, even if you cannot yet explain it. Because soon, what is hidden will no longer remain hidden. Soon, what feels uncertain will become undeniable. And when that moment comes, you will look back and realize that this feeling, this quiet, persistent knowing was never something to fear. It was something to follow. There is a reason your peace has been interrupted, and it is not what you think. What you have been calling restlessness, what you have been trying to suppress or explain away, is actually the first clear sign that a divine warning is already active in your life. This repeated inner disturbance is not here to harm you. It is here to wake you up before something reveals itself in a way you cannot ignore. You have felt it more than once. That sudden shift in your energy, that moment when everything seems normal, yet inside you something feels off. It is subtle, but it is strong enough to make you pause. And even when you try to move on, it lingers. It returns at unexpected times, tapping gently at your awareness, asking you to look deeper. This is not anxiety. Anxiety overwhelms and scatters your thoughts. But this feeling, it has direction. It points. It nudges. It highlights something specific, even if you cannot yet name it. That is because Archangel Michael is using this inner disturbance as a signal, a divine alert system designed to reach you before your external world shifts. Think about the moments when this feeling becomes strongest. Is it around a certain person, a certain place, a certain decision you've been avoiding? These are not random triggers. They are clues. Your soul is reacting to something your physical senses have not yet fully processed. And Archangel Michael is amplifying that reaction so you cannot overlook it. Many people ignore this stage. They distract themselves. They convince themselves that everything is fine. But the truth is, When a feeling repeats itself this consistently, it is no longer a feeling, it is a message. And messages from the divine do not come without purpose. They come with urgency, especially when protection is involved. There is something important you are being guided to notice. It may not be obvious yet, but your awareness is being sharpened. This inner disturbance is not meant to confuse you. It is meant to prepare you. Because when the truth comes to light, it may come quickly. And without this preparation, it could catch you off guard. Archangel Michael does not want you to be unprepared. He does not want you to walk blindly into something your soul already sensed. That is why this feeling had been repeating. Not to disturb your peace, but to redirect your attention. Not to create fear, but to activate discernment. You may also notice that along with this disturbance, there is a quiet knowing beneath it. A sense that something is not aligned, even if everything appears fine on the surface. That knowing is important. It is the voice of your intuition, strengthened by divine guidance. It does not shout, but it remains steady. It waits for you to trust it. And here is what you must understand. This is only the beginning. This first sign is the doorway. If you listen now, if you acknowledge what you are feeling instead of dismissing it, you will be guided step by step toward clarity. But if you ignore it, the signs will only become louder, more direct, and harder to avoid. So do not brush this aside. Do not tell yourself that it is nothing, because your soul does not react without reason, and Archangel Michael does not send warnings without purpose. You are being positioned right now to see something clearly, something that could change the direction of your path. Pause and reflect. What has been repeatedly disturbing your peace? Where does your attention keep returning, even when you try to ignore it? That is where the message is pointing. That is where your awareness is needed most. Type "I trust" the warning in the comments if you feel this message is reaching something deep within you. Lesson code 441 is now being activated over your life, bringing clarity where there was confusion and protection where there was uncertainty. And as this truth begins to unfold within you, understand this: you are not being left alone to figure it out. You are being guided, step by step, by Arabic Daf, Arabic Wow, Arabic Tetma Buddha, far greater than anything you can see. There is a sacred opportunity right now to become part of something even greater. When you respond to messages like this, when you help this light reach others who are still confused or unaware, you become a vessel of that same protection. As it is written, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse. It is a living promise being spoken over you in this very moment. If your spirit is moved to act, do not hesitate. The seeds you sow today become the protection and breakthrough for someone else tomorrow. The PayPal link in the description and the QR code on your screen are not just tools. They are gateways to extend this divine message further than you can imagine. Step into this moment. Release what you are lent to give. And as you do, may doors open, may clarity increase, and may blessings overflow into every area of your life. Something around you is no longer the same, and even if you cannot fully explain it, you have felt the difference. The atmosphere feels heavier in certain moments, lighter in others. Conversations that once felt natural now seem forced. Spaces that once brought comfort now carry a strange tension. This is not your imagination. This is the second layer of the warning unfolding before you, an energetic shift that is quietly changing the reality around you. Energy speaks before actions reveal themselves. Long before a truth becomes visible, it is felt. And right now, your sensitivity is increasing because Archangel Michael is allowing you to perceive what is usually hidden beneath the surface. You are not just observing your environment anymore. You are sensing it. Have you noticed how certain people feel different lately? It's not always about what they say or do, but something deeper. Your presence feels altered. There may be a distance where there was once closeness or an uneasiness that appears without a clear reason. This is one of the clearest signs that something beneath the surface is shifting. Not everything is as it seems, and your soul is picking up on that change. Archangel Michael often works through separation and exposure. When something is not aligned with your highest good, its energy begins to feel uncomfortable in your presence. This is not to isolate you. It is to protect you. When you feel that sudden disconnect, it is not rejection. It is redirection. You may also find that your tolerance for certain behaviors, conversations, or environments has changed. Things you once ignored now stand out sharply. Situations that you once accepted now feel wrong. This is not you becoming difficult or overly sensitive. This is you becoming aware. Your spirit is no longer willing to settle for what is misaligned, and that awareness is being heightened by divine intervention. At the same time, there may be moments where you feel unexpectedly calm, even in situations that should normally cause stress. This contrast is important. It shows you where peace still exists and where it has been disturbed. Archangel Michael uses both discomfort and peace as markers, one to warn you and one to guide you. But here is where the deeper truth begins to emerge. Not every shift you are experiencing is external. Some of it is happening within you. Your perception is changing. Your intuition is sharpening. You are beginning to see beyond appearances, beyond words, beyond surface-level interactions. And this new level of awareness can feel overwhelming at first, because it reveals things you may not have been ready to face before. This is why the feeling you experienced earlier is now expanding into your environment. What started as an internal signal is now being confirmed externally. The patterns are aligning. The pieces are slowly coming together. And what once felt like uncertainty is starting to form a clear picture. However, this stage requires discernment. Not every discomfort means danger, and not every change means loss. Some shifts are necessary for growth. Some separations are necessary for protection. Archangel Michael is not removing things from your life without purpose. He is clearing the path ahead so you can walk it without obstruction. There may be something or someone that is no longer meant to continue with you in the same way. This does not always mean conflict or confrontation. Sometimes it simply means a quiet distancing, a natural release. And while that may feel unfamiliar, it is often the most peaceful form of protection. Pay attention to how your body reacts in different situations. Notice where you feel tension and where you feel ease. These are not random sensations. They are signals. Your body is working in harmony with your spirit, responding to the shifts that are taking place around you. Right now, you are being guided to observe more and react less. You do not need to force answers or make sudden decisions. Just remain aware. Let the truth reveal itself naturally. Because as this shift continues, what is hidden will not be able to stay hidden much longer. Archangel Michael is positioning you in a place of awareness so that when the moment of clarity arrives, you will recognize it instantly. You will not question it. You will not doubt it. You will simply know. And that knowing will change everything. There is a quiet danger in pretending not to see what your soul has already recognized. It does not come suddenly or violently. It begins slowly through hesitation, through doubt, through the decision to wait just a little longer, even when something inside you is urging you to pay attention now. Ignoring a divine warning is not an act of rebellion. It is often an act of uncertainty. But uncertainty, when prolonged, can lead you directly into what you were meant to avoid. Right now, you are standing in a moment that requires awareness. Not fear, not panic, but awareness. Because the feeling you have been experiencing, the shifts you have noticed, and the patterns that are forming are not separate events. They are connected. They are building towards something. And if you choose to dismiss them, you may find yourself facing a situation that your spirit had already tried to prepare you for. Archangel Michael does not send warnings lightly. His presence is protective, precise, and purposeful. When he intervenes through feeling, through energy shifts, through subtle signals, it is because there is something ahead that requires your attention. Something that cannot be approached blindly. Something that needs your discernment fully awake. The danger of ignoring this is not just external. It becomes internal. When you silence your intuition repeatedly, you begin to weaken your connection to it. The voice becomes quieter. The signals become harder to recognize. And over time, you may start relying only on what you can see, forgetting that some of the most important truths are felt long before they are visible. This is how people miss what was meant to protect them. Not because they were careless, but because they convinced themselves that what they felt was not real. They chose comfort over clarity. They chose familiarity over truth. And in doing so, they delayed a realization that could have come sooner, with less confusion and less difficulty. There may be something in your life right now that you are trying to justify. Something that does not fully feel right, yet you continue to explain it away. Perhaps it is a situation you have grown used to. Perhaps it is a connection you do not want to question. Or perhaps it is a decision you have been avoiding because facing it would require change. This is where the warning becomes critical. Ignoring what your soul is showing you does not stop the truth from existing. It only delays your response to it. And sometimes, that delay can make the situation more complicated than it needed to be. What could have been a simple realization becomes a difficult lesson. What could have been avoided becomes something you must now navigate. But understand this clearly. This message is not here to create fear within you. It is here to give you an advantage. Awareness is protection. When you are aware, you move differently. You observe more carefully. You listen more deeply. You respond with intention instead of reaction. Archangel Michael is not warning you because something is meant to harm you. He is warning you because something is meant to be revealed. And how you respond to that revelation will determine the direction that follows. There is also a spiritual truth that many overlook. When guidance is given and ignored, the signs do not disappear, they intensify. What begins as a feeling becomes a situation. What begins as a nudge becomes a clear interruption. This is not punishment. It is persistence. It is the divine refusing to let you walk into something unprepared. You may already feel that escalation beginning. The feeling is stronger now than it was before. The shifts are more noticeable. The awareness is becoming harder to ignore. This is the moment where your response matters most. Do not wait for undeniable proof before you trust what you feel. By the time everything becomes obvious, the opportunity to move early may have passed. Right now, you are being given the chance to act with insight instead of hindsight. Take a moment and reflect honestly. What have you been overlooking? What have you been feeling but choosing not to acknowledge? That is where your attention needs to go. Because the truth is your soul already knows. Archangel Michael has already delivered the signal. And now, the choice is yours. Will you listen while it is still a whisper? Or will you wait until it becomes something you can no longer ignore? There is a reason this feeling is happening now, not yesterday, not months ago, and not sometime in the distant future. This moment you are in right now has been carefully aligned in ways you may not yet fully understand. What you are experiencing is not only a warning, it is a perfectly timed awakening. And divine timing is never random. You may have wondered, why am I feeling this all of a sudden? Or why didn't I notice this before? The answer is simple, yet powerful. You were not meant to see it before now. There are seasons in life where certain truths remain hidden, not because they do not exist, but because you are not yet ready to receive them. But now something has shifted within you. Your awareness has expanded, your sensitivity has increased, and your spirit has reached a point where it can no longer ignore what once went unnoticed. Archangel Michael works within divine timing, not human urgency. While the mind seeks immediate clarity, the spiritual realm prepares you step by step. Every experience you've had leading up to this moment has been part of that preparation. Every delay, every confusion, every moment of doubt, it has all been shaping your ability to recognize what is now being revealed. This is why the feeling has come to you at this exact point in your life. Because now, you can handle it. And now, you can see it without turning away. And now, you can respond with wisdom instead of reaction. If this awareness had come earlier, you might have dismissed it completely. But now, it resonates. Now it stays with you. Divine timing also means that what is about to unfold is already in motion. You are not being warned about something distant or uncertain. You are being prepared for something that is approaching your awareness quickly. The signs you've been receiving are not leading up to something far away. They are guiding you towards something near. And this is where trust becomes essential. It can be uncomfortable to feel something before you fully understand. It can be frustrating to sense that something is shifting without having all the answers. But this is how divine timing works. It reveals in layers. First the feeling, then the awareness, then the confirmation. Each stage is intentional. Each stage builds upon the last. Archangel Michael is asking you not to rush the process, but also not to ignore it. There is a balance here. You are not meant to force clarity, but you are meant to remain open to it. You are not meant to panic, but you are meant to pay attention. There is also a deeper truth hidden within divine timing. Protection often comes before understanding. You may not yet see what you are being protected from, but that does not mean the protection is not active. In fact, it is already working in your favor. This feeling you have is part of that protection. It is positioning you, adjusting your perspective, and preparing your decisions before the situation fully reveals itself. Think of it this way. If you were walking towards something harmful, wouldn't you want a signal before you reached it? Wouldn't you want a moment to pause, to reconsider, to choose a different direction? That is exactly what this is. You are being given time. Time to see, time to understand, time to act. But time, once given, must be used wisely. This is not a moment to fall back into distraction or denial. This is a moment to become present. You observe. To listen not just with your ears, but with your awareness. Because what is being revealed to you is not meant to confuse you. It is meant to guide you. Archangel Michael stands within this moment of timing, ensuring that nothing reaches you before you are ready, and nothing is delayed once it is necessary for you to know. There is precision in this. There is intention in this. And there is a purpose that is unfolding, even if you cannot yet see the full picture. So instead of asking, why now? Begin to understand that now is exactly when it needed to happen. You are not late. You are not early. You are exactly where you need to be. And what comes next will begin to make everything clear. There is a moment in every spiritual awakening where clarity and confusion exist at the same time. It feels almost contradictory, as if one part of you sees the truth with absolute certainty, while another part begins to question everything. If you have reached this stage, then understand this clearly. You are not losing your sense of direction. You are entering deeper awareness. This is the second sign, and it is one of the most powerful indicators that Archangel Michael is actively guiding you. Because when truth begins to surface, it does not always arrive gently. Sometimes it disrupts what you thought you understood. Sometimes it challenges what you were comfortable believing. And in that moment, your mind and your soul begin to respond differently. Your soul recognizes truth instantly. It does not need evidence, validation, or explanation. It feels what is real and aligns with it immediately. But your mind seeks logic. It wants proof. It tries to protect you from uncertainty by creating questions, doubts, and alternative explanations. And this is where the tension begins. You may have already felt this internal conflict. A sudden realization hits you, clear, strong, undeniable. For a brief moment, everything makes sense. You see a situation differently. You understand a person in a new way. You feel a shift so real that it almost startles you. But then, just as quickly, doubt follows. Am I overthinking this? Maybe I'm misunderstanding. But if I'm wrong, this pattern is not weakness. It is the mind trying to catch up with what the soul already knows. Archangel Michael allows this process to happen because it strengthens your discernment. If clarity came without any resistance, you might not fully value it. But when clarity is followed by doubt, you are given a choice to trust what you felt or to retreat back into what is comfortable. And that choice is where your growth begins. The confusion you feel is not meant to mislead you. It is meant to test your awareness. It asks you, will you trust the deeper knowing within you, or will you let surface-level logic override it? Because the truth is, not everything can be explained immediately. Some things must be felt first and understood later. You may notice that the clarity keeps returning, even after the doubt. It comes back stronger, more defined, more difficult to ignore. This is how you know it is real. False thoughts fade quickly, but true awareness persists. It repeats itself until it becomes undeniable. There is also something else happening during this stage. You are beginning to detach from illusions. Things that once seemed certain are now being questioned. Perspectives you once held firmly are now shifting. And while this can feel unsettling, it is actually a sign that you are seeing beyond appearances. Archangel Michael is guiding you through this transition carefully. He is not forcing answers upon you. Instead, he is allowing you to discover them, piece by piece, so that your understanding becomes solid and unshakable. Because when truth is realized through your own awareness, it stays with you. But you must be careful not to let confusion silence your clarity. Doubt is only powerful when you give it authority over what you already know deep within. The goal is not to eliminate doubt completely, but to recognize it for what it is, a temporary reaction, not a final truth. Take a moment and reflect. What is the clarity you experienced recently? What realization came to you suddenly, before doubt tried to cover it? That moment matters. That was not random. That was insight. And even now, as you listen to this, there may be something forming in your awareness, a connection being made, a truth becoming clear. Pay attention to that. Do not rush past it. Do not dismiss it, because the stage is preparing you for what comes next. Soon, the confusion will begin to fade. The clarity will become stronger, steadier, more consistent. And what once felt uncertain will transform into something you cannot deny. Archangel Michael is leading you through this moment not to confuse you, but to refine you, to sharpen your ability to recognize truth even when it is not immediately comfortable. So trust the clarity when it comes, even if it is brief, even if it is followed by questions, because those moments of clarity, they are glimpses of what is about to be fully revealed. There is a shift happening now that goes beyond feeling, beyond intuition, beyond inner conflict. What you have been sensing, what you have been gradually becoming aware of, is leading to something very real, something that is about to come into the light. This is not just a warning anymore. This is preparation. You were never meant to stay in confusion. You were never meant to remain in uncertainty. Every feeling, every signal, every moment of clarity and doubt has been guiding you toward this exact point, a moment where what is hidden can no longer remain hidden. And before that revelation fully unfolds, Archangel Michael is calling you to prepare yourself, not in fear, but in strength. Preparation does not mean panic. It means awareness. It means grounding yourself in truth before the truth is fully revealed. Because when something comes to light, it can feel overwhelming if you are not ready to receive it. But you are being given the advantage of knowing before knowing. You are being positioned to stand firm, to observe clearly, and to respond wisely. There may be something in your life that has not been fully transparent, something that has felt slightly off, yet never obvious enough to confront. That is what is shifting now. That is what is moving toward exposure. And as it approaches, your awareness is increasing so that when it finally appears, it does not shock you. It confirms what your soul has already been telling you. Archangel Michael is not only warning you, he is equipping you. He is strengthening your discernment so that you are not easily misled. He is clearing distractions so that you can see without distortion. And most importantly, he is reminding you that you are not powerless in this situation. You are prepared. But preparation also requires a response. You cannot remain passive while everything around you begins to shift. You must become intentional. Pay attention to your surroundings. Notice the patterns. Listen not just to words but to energy. What feels consistent? What feels forced? What aligns with your inner knowing, and what contradicts it? There is also a need to prepare emotionally, because truth, when revealed, does not always arrive gently, and can challenge your expectations. It can disrupt what you thought was stable, and in that moment, your reaction matters. Will you resist what is being shown to you, or will you accept it with clarity? Archangel Michael is urging you to stand in truth, even if that truth feels uncomfortable at first. Because what is real will always lead you to freedom, while what is hidden keeps you in limitation. And this moment, this unfolding revelation, is designed to release you from something you may not have even realized was holding you back. You may also feel a strong pull to step back, to observe more than you speak, to create space between yourself and certain situations. This is not withdrawal, it is preparation. It is you positioning yourself in a place where you can see clearly without interference. Trust that instinct. It is guiding you exactly where you need to be. And as everything begins to align, there will come a moment, a clear, undeniable moment, where the truth stands before you. And we're guessing. And we're confusion. Just clarity. And when that moment arrives, you will realize that everything you felt leading up to it was guiding you here. This is why you could not ignore the feeling. This is why it persisted. Because it was leading to this. Type "I am ready" for the truth in the comments if you feel this preparation taking place within you. Blessing code 909 is now activated, surrounding you with clarity, strength, and divine protection as what is hidden begins to come into the light. And as you stand on the edge of this revelation, understand something deeper. You are not just receiving truth for yourself. You are becoming part of a greater flow of light that is meant to reach others who are still in darkness. When you act in alignment with this moment, when you support the spreading of messages like this, you are planting seeds in places you may never see, yet they will grow. As it is written, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. This is a living promise being spoken over your life right now. If your spirit feels called, do not hold back. The PayPal link in the description and the QR code on your screen are not just simple options. They are divine opportunities. Step into this moment with intention. Release what you are guided to give. And as you do, may your path be cleared, may your vision be sharpened, and may blessings return to you in ways greater than you can imagine. There comes a moment in this journey where everything begins to quiet down, not because nothing is happening, but because something deeper is taking place within you. After the signals, the confusion, the preparation, there is a phase that many misunderstand. It feels like distance. It feels like separation. It can even feel like loneliness. But this is not abandonment. This is divine isolation. If you have recently felt the urge to step back from certain people, conversations, or environments, do not ignore it. If you find yourself becoming quieter, more observant, less interested in things that once held your attention, this is not a loss of connection. This is a shift in alignment. This is the third sign. Archangel Michael often creates space around you before something significant is revealed. Because clarity requires stillness. Truth requires distance from noise. And sometimes, the only way for you to truly see what is in front of you is to step away from everything that has been clouding your perception. You may have noticed that certain relationships no longer feel the same. Conversations that once flowed easily now feel forced or unnecessary. There may be moments where you prefer solitude over company, silence over noise. And while part of you may question this change, another part of you feels a quiet sense of peace within it. That peace is important. It is your confirmation. This is not the kind of isolation that drains you. It is the kind that restores you. It gives you space to think clearly, to feel deeply, and to reconnect with your inner voice without interference. Because when too many external influences surround you, it becomes difficult to distinguish what is truly yours from what is being projected onto you. Archangel Michael is guiding you into this space for a reason. There is something you need to see without distraction. There is a truth that requires your full attention, your full awareness, your undivided presence. And this temporary withdrawal is creating the perfect environment for that realization to take place. But here is where many become confused. They interpret this isolation as something negative. They assume they are being distanced, rejected, or disconnected. That is not what this is. You are being repositioned. You are being placed exactly where you need to be in order to receive what is coming next. There is also a protective element in this phase. Not everyone around you is meant to be part of what is about to unfold. Not every voice deserves access to your thoughts during this time. Some distances are not emotional, they are spiritual, and they are necessary. You may feel as though you are observing more than participating, watching rather than engaging, listening more than speaking. This is intentional, because observation reveals what participation often hides. When you step back, patterns become clearer, intentions become more visible, truth becomes easier to recognize, and within this space of quiet, something powerful begins to happen. You start to trust yourself more. Without constant input from others, your inner voice becomes stronger. Your thoughts become clearer. Your intuition becomes sharper. And what once felt uncertain begins to settle into understanding. There may also be moments where this isolation feels uncomfortable. That is natural. Growth often comes with discomfort, especially when it involves letting go of familiar patterns. But do not mistake temporary discomfort for something wrong. Sometimes, the absence of noise feels strange simply because you have been surrounded by it for so long. Stay with it. Do not rush to fill the silence. Do not force yourself back into spaces that no longer feel aligned just to avoid being alone. Because this moment, this quiet, reflective space, is where everything begins to come together. Archangel Michael is standing guard during this phase, protecting your energy, clearing your surroundings, ensuring that what needs to be revealed to you comes through without distortion. You are not alone in this stillness. You are supported within it. And soon, very soon, the purpose of this isolation will become clear. What you are being prepared to see will not require explanation. It will not need confirmation. You will simply know. So embrace this space. Trust the distance. Honor the quiet. Because within this isolation you are being shown the truth that will set you free. You have felt the warning. You have seen the shifts. You have moved through confusion, preparation, and even isolation. Now comes the moment that truly matters, what you choose to do with everything you have been shown. Because awareness without action leaves you standing still, and this message was never meant to leave you where you started. Archangel Michael is not only revealing truth to you, he is guiding you toward a response. A clear, intentional, grounded response that aligns you with protection, clarity, and forward movement. This is not about reacting in fear or making sudden, emotional decisions. This is about stepping into alignment with what your soul has already recognized. The first thing you are being called to do is pause, but not in avoidance, in awareness. Slow down your reactions. Do not rush to confront, explain, or fix anything immediately. There is power in stillness right now. When you pause, you create space for clarity to fully form. You allow truth to settle instead of becoming distorted by emotion. In the stillness, observe everything more deeply. Listen not only to what is said, but to what is not being said. Pay attention to actions, not just words. Notice consistency or the lack of it. Truth often reveals itself quietly, in patterns that repeat rather than in dramatic moments. And right now, your ability to see those patterns is stronger than ever. The second thing Archangel Michael is guiding you to do is trust your discernment. You have already been shown more than enough through your feelings, your awareness, and the shifts around you. Do not second-guess what you know deep within. Doubt may still try to peer, but it no longer holds authority unless you give it power. Trust does not mean you have to act immediately. It means you stop denying what you feel. It means you accept that your inner knowing is valid. And from that place of trust, your next steps will naturally become clearer. You are also being guided to create boundaries. Not out of fear, but out of clarity. If something feels misaligned, you do not need to fully understand it to step back from it. If a situation feels uncertain, you are allowed to give yourself space. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They protect your energy while allowing truth to pass through. This may require you to become more intentional with your time, your conversations, and your presence. Not everything deserves your full access right now. Not every situation requires your involvement. Part of your growth in this moment is learning where to place your attention and where to withdraw it. Archangel Michael is also calling you into deeper connection, not with external noise, but with your inner guidance. This is a time to listen more closely than ever before. Whether through quiet reflection, prayer, or simply sitting in stillness, you are being invited to strengthen your connection with the divine voice within you. Because the more you listen, the clearer everything becomes. There may also be a decision ahead of you. Not necessarily a dramatic one, but a meaningful one. A choice that aligns you either with what you have always known, or with what you are now beginning to see. And when that moment comes, you will not need to search for the answer. You will already feel it. Do not be afraid of what this awareness might change. Sometimes, clarity leads to adjustment. Sometimes it leads to release. But it always leads to alignment. And alignment brings peace, even when it requires courage. Remember, you are not being guided into confusion. You are being guided out of it. Every step you take now, when rooted in awareness and trust, moves you closer to a place where nothing feels uncertain anymore. Archangel Michael is not asking you to do something complicated. He is asking you to be honest with yourself, to acknowledge what you feel, to honor what you see, and to move in a way that reflects that truth. This is your moment to act with clarity instead of hesitation, to move with awareness instead of assumption, to trust that what you have been shown was not random, it was intentional. And as you begin to take these steps, something powerful will happen. The confusion will fade, the uncertainty will lift, and you will begin to see that you were never lost. You were being guided all along. There comes a moment when everything begins to shift, not outside first, but within you. A quiet realization starts to settle in, replacing the confusion, the tension, and the uncertainty you once felt. It does not arrive loudly, yet it changes everything. This is the turning point, the moment where you begin to understand that what felt like a warning was actually protection all along. Up until now, you may have focused on what felt uncomfortable, what felt uncertain, what felt like something was wrong. But look deeper. Every feeling, every shift, every moment of awareness was guiding you away from something that was not meant for you. Not to harm you, but to shield you. Archangel Michael does not send warnings to create fear. He sends them to create distance between you and what could disrupt your path. And now, as you stand in this moment, you can begin to see it more clearly. Things that once felt confusing are starting to make sense. Patterns you didn't understand before are becoming obvious. And what once felt like discomfort is now revealing itself as direction. You were never being pushed into uncertainty. You were being pulled out of illusion. This is where your perspective changes. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to see, "This is happening for me." Every uneasy feeling was a signal guiding you toward safety. Every moment of doubt was an opportunity to look deeper. Every shift was a redirection toward something more aligned with your truth. And now, you are no longer reacting, you are understanding. There is a calmness that begins to replace the confusion. Not because everything has been explained in detail, but because you feel the truth of it. A deep inner knowing becomes steady. It no longer comes and goes. It stays. And with it comes a sense of quiet confidence. You may even begin to feel grateful for the very thing that once unsettled you. Because without it, you might have continued forward without awareness. You might have overlooked what needed your attention. But now you see clearly. This is what divine protection feels like. It does not always look like immediate answers or obvious interventions. Sometimes, it comes as a feeling you cannot ignore. Sometimes, it comes as a shift you cannot explain. But in every form, it carries the same purpose: to guide you toward what is right and away from what is not. Archangel Michael had been present in every step of this process. In the moments you questioned yourself, he was strengthening your awareness. In the moments you felt alone, he was creating space for clarity. In the moments you hesitated, he was allowing truth to unfold at the right pace. You were never unprotected. You were never unaware. You were being prepared. And now, you are stepping into a different kind of awareness, one that is not driven by fear, but by clarity. One that does not need constant reassurance, because it trusts what it feels. One that moves with confidence, even in uncertainty, because it knows it is guided. There is also a sense of release that comes with this realization. The need to overthink begins to fade. The urge to question everything begins to settle. Because you no longer feel like you are searching for answers, you feel like you are recognizing them. And this recognition changes how you move forward. You become more intentional, more observant, more aligned. You no longer ignore what you feel, and because of that, you avoid what once might have confused you. You step differently, not out of caution, but out of awareness. This is the strength that comes from divine guidance. And as you stand in this turning point, there is something important you must remember. You are not just protected from something, you are being guided toward something better, something clearer, something more aligned with who you truly are. What once felt like a warning has now revealed itself as a gift of awareness, a gift of clarity, a gift of protection. And from this moment forward, you will never see your intuition the same way again. Because now, you know when you feel it, it matters. When you sense it, it is real. And when you listen to it, you are never alone. My dear soul, everything that once felt uncertain is now beginning to settle into peace. The storm of confusion, the weight of doubt, the tension of not knowing, it is all starting to lift. Not because nothing happened, but because now you understand. Now you see. Now you feel the truth in a way that no longer disturbs you, but grounds you. This is the peace that comes after divine warning. Not a temporary calm, but a deep, steady reassurance that you are safe, guided, and protected. What once felt like a disruption was actually a redirection. What once felt like discomfort was actually alignment taking place within you. Take a moment and breathe in this awareness. You made it through the uncertainty. You did not ignore the feeling. You stayed present, even when it was uncomfortable. And because of that, you are now standing in clarity. The very thing that once felt heavy has now become light, because it no longer holds power over you. You see it for what it is. Archangel Michael has walked with you through every step of this journey. From the first feeling you could not explain, to the shifts around you, to the moments of confusion and isolation, he was there, guiding you, protecting you, ensuring that nothing reached you without your awareness first being awakened. And now, as everything settles, there is a quiet truth rising within you. You are not the same person who first heard this message. Something has changed. Your awareness is deeper. Your discernment is stronger. Your connection to your inner knowing is clearer than before. This is not just an ending. It is a beginning. A beginning where you no longer doubt what you feel. A beginning where you trust the signals within you. A beginning where you move through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that you are guided even when you cannot see the full path ahead. There may still be things unfolding around you, but they no longer carry the same uncertainty. Because now, you know how to observe. You know how to listen. You know how to trust. And that changes everything. Archangel Michael is not leaving your side. His presence does not fade once the message is delivered. It continues with you, surrounding you with protection, strengthening your awareness, and guiding your steps forward. You are not alone in what comes next. You are supported in ways you may not always see, but will always feel. Let this peace settle into your spirit. Let go of the need to question what has already been revealed. Release any remaining fear, because it no longer belongs here. You are safe. You are aware. You are guided. And most importantly, you listened. Type "I am guided and protected" in the comments if you receive this message fully. Blessing code 2026 is now activated over your life, sealing this moment with divine peace, clarity, and protection that will continue to walk with you beyond this message. And as this journey comes full circle, understand this: what you have received is not meant to stay with you alone. This light, this awareness, this protection, it is meant to flow through you and reach others who are still searching, still confused, still in need of clarity. This is your moment to step into that flow. I feel called to be part of this mission to help this message reach the soul who needs it next. If that thought is rising within you, it is not SL who che. It is divine alignment. As God declares, whoever sows generously will also reap generously, and this promise is alive over you right now. When you give, you are not losing. You are planting. Planting seeds of truth, of light, of awakening in places you may never see, but heaven records every single one. The PayPal link in the description and the QR code on your screen are not just auctions. They are sacred doors. Step through them with faith. Act now. Release your seed. Support this mission. And as you do, may your life be filled with overflow. May unseen doors open before you. And may the same protection you received multiply back into your life without measure.